Good afternoon and welcome back to Hustlin' with Holly, episode 2. Look at that. We are already on episode 2, guys. Glad to be back. I'm still having a lot of fun with this. I hope you are too. Thanks for tuning back in. I was really overwhelmed with happiness to see the amount of positive feedback I got on Instagram. I posted a thing via my story asking if you guys wanted to hear sort of a random kind of rants and randomness episode pertaining to my life. Nothing too interesting in my opinion, but it would just be modern day, what I'm going through, what I'm thinking. I mentioned I'd be talking a little bit about what it's like to be 20 and in college. And today, more so, I'm going to be focusing on the transition into adulthood as a young adult. I am 20 years old. I'm in college. I am still trying to figure out what to do with my life. I have a pretty good idea of the direction I want to go in, but I do not have everything set in stone, planned to a T. I'm still trying to network and kind of figure this whole thing out, as a lot of us are, but it can be kind of difficult. I feel like after you graduate high school especially, and this also pertains to the first years of college, the first 2 years, the first semester, a lot of people kind of expect you to have it all together. They expect you to know what you want to major in, what your career is, basically your 5-year plan. And I don't think they do this intentionally, but that can be quite a bit of stress when you're, 18, 19, 20, maybe even 24, 25, 26, knowing what you want to do in life, how you are going to adult in this life. If you already know, if you figured it out, if you could just send me a DM on Instagram, if you have the answer to adulting, point blank period, I'm going to need you to hand that information over. That is valuable information, and I would love to be able to share it with whoever needs it, because honestly, I'm still figuring it out. So what's been on my mind is just life. I know that's pretty general, and I'm going to try and get into the specifics of that. As I was saying, it can be really difficult when people kind of expect you to already know what you're doing, but at the same time, they're telling you, oh, you've got time, but low-key, you better have a 5-year plan and career goals and networking. Kind of like when you get your first job, but in order to get your first job, they want you to have experience, but in order to get experience, you need to get a job. So like it's full circle, and it doesn't make any sense, and you just have to keep pressing them to get the job, so that obviously you can get the experience so that you can move on to other jobs. See what I'm saying? It's this life, man, is crazy. Anyway, I am going to Northwest University. I'm finishing up my AA. I'm participating in a dope church internship, which I'm really excited for this fall. Gonna make a lot of new friends. Hopefully we'll do some traveling. If COVID-19 will disband and disperse, that'd be great if I would just kind of disappear. But I also work full-time at Target right now. Not for long, it'll go down to part-time when I start my internship. However, the thing that I've been thinking about the most is, how do I set myself up for success? Now, if you know me personally, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I read a lot of self-help books. I read a lot of books in general. I like to read 2 or 3 at a time. I don't know why I can't just sit down and read one. It's always, I'm reading 3 at the same time, but that's just me. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out how to network, how to take my photography and my filmmaking to the next level. I'm trying to figure out how to build my portfolio, how to pick a major that will kind of coincide with what I want to do in life and kind of help me instead of hinder me, which is really difficult when you're trying to find a major that just sort of meshes well with you, because there's a lot of majors out there, but the running joke is that nobody works in the major they studied for in college. I have yet to meet very many people that actually work in the field that they majored in. My brother-in-law, he went to UW for law school. He's now a lawyer, which is a good thing, because that's a lot of school to not become a lawyer. See, when you pick something specific like that and then you're pretty safe. But I'm doing, I'm freelancing and working at Target and really hoping that a marketing degree pans out. Obviously, it's not wise of me to spend a lot of money and be unsure if my degree is going to help me. I'm pretty sure it is. I feel like marketing is a pretty lucrative skill to have. I mean, it's selling things. everybody in this day and age is trying to sell you something, whether it be on Instagram or wherever. So I'm pretty sure that I'm kind of safe in that area. That's just something I've been figuring out. Funny thing is, I used to be that kid sophomore year of high school with the 5-year plan where I planned out everything. I would tell people what job I was going to have by what age or where I was going to be by like this age and this and that. And I had it all planned out and I was like, how hard could this be? Just set a plan and go for it. And then I started my first semester of college and that 5-year plan fell apart so quickly, unbelievably quickly. I'm not surprised now, but I was pretty upset at the time because I was like, what is happening? But that's life. Life changes and you've got to adapt. And sometimes you've got to adapt rather quickly. I hadn't accounted for the curveballs that life was going to throw at me. Going into that, if there's one thing I live by is try everything. I've changed my mind a lot going back and forth on things such as what school I want to go to, what job I want to do. This has allowed me to make mistakes and learn new things. Otherwise, I wouldn't have learned had I not given my curiosity a shot. I hate to admit it, but for a while, it was very difficult seeing some of my friends and peers pick a school, go to that school, and then end school via graduation like they just did a complete straight line. They seemed to enjoy it. There was not a lot of life lived outside of that, and that's not a bad thing. They just kept their head down and just studied, and honestly, good for them. I can respect that. I could never seem to do that for some reason. Personally, I've switched schools, moved states, and almost left the country to go live in France for a year just because I was curious and wanted to live in the now. Unfortunately, France was a bust because COVID-19, but that's okay because I found this sweet little church internship that's going to be awesome, and that's what I'm going to do in the fall. I know this was probably relatively a short episode, and I think a lot of people can somewhat relate. Personally, I feel like this conversation doesn't get explored as much as it should, in my opinion. But then again, that's just my opinion. So yeah, thanks for listening. I hope this made sense and wasn't too random, and I'll see you in the next episode. All right, bye.